Hello again, and welcome back for another edition of a Runnin Thought podcast coming to you all the way from on top of a volcano in the middle of the Pacific. Hope everybody's doing well. It's not been that long since the last episode. I did promise that I would try to do another one this weekend. So here I am. Forgive me or forgive this podcast if you hear any noises in the background. I've got the frogs outside. My dog is obsessed with licking his dog bed, and he's snorting and carrying on. And then my son has been playing Xbox all day long, which is sad, but he is making a little bit of noise too whenever he gets excited when something crazy happens in the game. But anyways, despite all that, I'm here. Today was a rainy day in HPP, or Hawaiian Paradise Park. I went for a run this evening, and when I say this evening, I mean pretty much most of it was in the dark, and it was wet, but that was okay. It had been a while since I had actually been out in the rain. It's not been raining that much. I have no idea what my dog's doing. He's sneezing and making all kinds of noise, but anyways, he's fine. He's an old guy. That's just what he does. I'm probably going to have to kick him out, I think, if he makes too much noise. But anyways, so this week, not too awful interesting. I only did a couple of runs. I got to deviate from my go-to, my standard. Yesterday, I had to do some things in town, so I decided to go for a quick run, also mostly in the dark, but not in the rain, on Bayfront in Hilo, and saw interesting characters. One interesting thing that happened, I was running through the parking lot area right across the street from the Kamehameha statue, and sorry, let me look it up just so I can be more clear. I have a problem with not being clear, especially with directions. I am opening maps. Where was I? I was on Bayfront. What is that little place called? So kind of on Bayfront down Bishop. Bayfront Highway. This little map is weird. Oh, yeah, I guess that does exist. So I was on Bayfront, and I was near Bayfront Park, I guess. And as I'm running through that parking lot, they've got it all blocked off now, which it looks like they're building, they're pouring concrete. So they built some curbs and some sidewalk structure in there, but it looks like it may be part of a planned path that runs all along the coast, like up and down Hilo, and I think part of the way is up north, up past town. Sorry, I'm oddly non-specific, but it's been a while since I looked at that plan, or stumbled upon that plan, but it's online. You can Google it. It's a proposed path for I guess all of the shoreline in Hilo. I'm sorry, I'm distracted. I'm multitasking right now. My dog has come over because he hears me talking and he wants attention. So I'm kind of half petting him and half paying attention to this map and what I'm saying right now. So forgive me. My brain is relatively low wattage, so multitasking sometimes is difficult for me. But anyways, okay, so yeah, I'm running along Bayfront through the parking lot where Bayfront Park is, and it's all closed off, so really and truly there's no vehicular traffic going through, and it looks, more or less like they don't care if people are there, but it's nothing. There's nothing to do there. You can't go rowing, it didn't look like, or anything else. So I'm just running through the parking lot because that's where I always run, just right along the coastline. But there's a lady that is standing in the kind of like the median. If you've ever been to Bayfront Park and you've been along this little highway, I guess, if you want to call it, there's kind of a little median in the middle, and this lady's standing on that. And then as I am running past her, I'm not even past her yet. She's facing the other way, and she's standing. How do I describe the way that she's standing? She's standing like kind of similar to Captain Morgan, with one leg kind of, up. Like Captain Morgan. Go Google Captain Morgan if you don't know what he looks like. But yeah, she's standing like that with one hand on her hip, and she's facing the opposite direction of me. And as I get up close behind her, I'm at least 6 or 10 feet away from her for sure. But I'm running up behind her, and she says, what did she say? She says, I'm paraphrasing, but she says something like, I'm not going to have your money later. You get your money now, or something like that. And I didn't really, I figured she was on the phone, or she could have been talking to herself, because that happens sometimes. But yeah, so I didn't think anything of it. And then as I get closer to the end of Bayfront Highway, or Bishop, whatever, there's another lady that I've seen many times on a skateboard. I always thought she was cool because she's always, every time you see her, she's got a longboard, and she's out skating around. But as I get closer to her, she asked me, hey man. And I kind of like waved, and she's like, did you, and again, I'm paraphrasing. This was yesterday. I have no idea what exactly was said, but she says something to the effect of, hey man, did you hear what she said? And I just kind of shook my head, very exaggerated no, and it didn't really like say anything, just shook my head, no, didn't hear, wasn't paying attention. And I just kind of like ran off, and it seemed kind of rude. I didn't want to be rude, but as I was leaving, I guess the area, like that girl started cussing to herself, and I don't remember what she was saying, but it was indicative of someone who maybe is having some troubles, or maybe is doing some substances, or not judging, just I didn't need to be in that area at that time, so I took off. But yeah, nothing against those two ladies. I'm sure they're not listening, but yeah, that was my fun time in Bayfront Park yesterday, and nothing really eventful after that or before that. I cut my run short so I could get back to the rental car because I had left it close to Hilo Bay Cafe, and ever since my truck got shot up and stuff, even though I don't think that would happen, where it was parked near the park and gardens, still I'm a little bit, I have reservations about leaving vehicles anywhere. And I guess the thing with the rental is that if you don't take their insurance, the extra whatever $21 a day, it's a ripoff. But if you don't take their insurance, then they charge you not only for the repair to the vehicle, but they also charge you for loss of use. And so I don't need to be racking up those charges and getting my stuff stolen again. But just, I guess, pro tip or paranoid tip, what I've been doing is I still roll the windows up and lock the doors, but I just leave the glove box open and the center console open with absolutely nothing in them, and hope that is a deterrent if there's nothing in the vehicle. But yeah, so anyways, so that kind of reminded me, talking about the rental car reminded me of my truck. And so I knew this was going to happen, and I'm still not going to name the name of the body shop that's working on it, because I'm going to wait and see, if how good of a job they do with repair and everything. But I was supposed to pick my truck up on Monday. They texted me yesterday. They have this automated text system, and they texted me to let me know that I could pick my truck up on tentatively. I could pick my truck up on next Friday, right? So I was supposed to be able to pick it up on Monday, right? So a couple days away, or actually, 2 days from now. Now they've changed it to basically a week. And so I knew that would happen. Before I even took the truck in to get it fixed, they called me like 2 or 3 times, wanting me to come bring my truck in so that they could store it in their, I guess, facility. And they kept saying that my broken window was a safety concern, which I guess it would be if it were lightning outside. But I drive with my windows down all the time. I've never had like a concern for my safety driving with the windows down. So having one shot out and the other rolled down is just like having both windows rolled down. Anyways, I didn't really see how that was a safety issue. Maybe they just meant for safety inspection purposes. It's not good to drive the truck the way it is, but whatever. They kept calling and wanted me to bring it in and leave it with them, and I kept asking them, well, do you have the parts to fix it? And they didn't. And so that happened 2 weeks. 2 weeks. They just kept calling me for 2 weeks, and they didn't even have the parts to fix my truck, but wanted me to bring it there and leave it and rent a car. I'm like, rental cars cost money. My truck, it costs money, but I'm paying for it anyway. I'll just let it sit in my driveway. So I guess they got clever, and it's my fault because I forgot to ask them this last time, but they said that I could drop my truck off for repairs. And so I assumed that they had all the parts ordered because it had been 2 weeks, and I figured everything had come in, and they had given me a due date for pickup. And they actually originally, I've got the message where they said bring it in on the 2nd and then pick it up on the 5th. And so when I actually went there, they told me it would be ready on the 9th, right? So they already changed the date once. And they didn't really have a reason. You know how it is. There's multiple employees. And so one person says one thing, another person looks at a computer, and then that's all they can go off of is whatever is entered in the computer. So the day already changed once. I was like, whatever. But then now it's changed again, and I can live with it, I think, as long as it is actually done on Friday. But yeah, if they extend it out again, I will take issue with that. But I guess there's really not much that I can do. The bank still technically owns the truck, and so they have the final say so. So who am I? Why am I complaining? I don't know. You don't care. But I was just updating everyone because I said I would on my truck. So woohoo, there you go. I got a Nissan Altima for a rental car. It's awesome. I don't know what year it is, but it's pretty loaded. It's got the leather seats and sunroof, all kinds of other little features, power, everything. It's even got a heated steering wheel. There's not many places that you would need that on the Big Island, but if you do, then it's got that in there. I don't love driving cars because they sit so low, and I just feel like I'm less safe, I guess, than if I was in my truck. But that may just be unfounded and paranoia. But anyway, so yeah, that's enough on all the rental stuff. No one cares. I quit social media. I kind of quit social media. I've mentioned it a million billion times that everybody should get off of social media. So the ones that I quit, and I did the full, drop, not the temporary thing, were Facebook and Instagram. I just got totally off of them because Facebook I hadn't used in several years, and my understanding was it had just become untenable. So I didn't want to be on it anyways. I don't really care about long form discussions and arguments. And if you've ever seen the documentary on Netflix, now I forgot what it's called. Dang it. I'll think of it as Social Dilemma. Yeah. Or read anything by Jaron Lanier. I think I don't know how to pronounce it, but anyways, if you read anything by him, he was actually in the Social Dilemma as well, but he has some interesting information on social media and the algorithms and how they manipulate people. And so it's a losing game. There's nothing good on there. There's interesting stuff, but there's a price for everything. I guess the most poignant statement was if you don't what was it? If you're getting something for free, then you're the product, right? And so how your data is used, and then how you are manipulated, those are kind of like the price of using these platforms. But anyways, so I'm off of those. I have discovered Reddit. I knew it existed, but I'd never used it before. I like it okay. I'm not like super heavy into it, but there's enough, funny and interesting stuff on there to kind of to keep me coming back and looking just a little bit. But I'm not like a hardcore Redditor. But I did put a link to the podcast on Reddit, and I've used it previously to conduct research or try to find participants for some of my user experience research. So I put the podcast link up on a couple of Hawaii subreddits, and then I got several people that I guess quote unquote converted and downloaded some episodes. So that's good. Thank you to those people, and thank you actually to everybody that's listening to me complain about body work and and praise my rental car. So yeah, that was good. I had posted on Instagram a lot, when my stuff would come out, my podcast would come out, but I don't know if anybody ever actually looked from Instagram. There's just too much stuff on Instagram. It's so much, and then I don't ever know how those algorithms work. Like my friends may not actually even see anything that I ever post because there's way more salacious and exciting things that already exist on Instagram, and so anyways, that's not why I quit. It wasn't that. I'm not trying to use social media as like a crazy push marketing campaign. I am just I just want to let people know, especially if they're in Hawaii, maybe they might have something they might like what they hear, or might want to be a guest, or might want to comment or something, make it a little more interactive. But whatever. Now I'm getting boring again. I was already boring, but now I'm getting more boring. So getting back to the run along Bayfront yesterday, it was kind of sad because it seems like more and more there's cars that are parked pretty frequently, and by that I mean every day, in spots along Bayfront, and then also other places too. We'll just say other places too. And the implication is, that folks are living in their cars, and so my heart goes out to all those people that are in that situation that don't want to be. I know believe it or not, there's people that are perfectly fine with that. That's what they would rather do. I know that sounds really naive, but it's actually a thing. Like you can look this up. There's folks that are homeless on Big Island that's what they want to do. And so I'm not trying to like wax political or be whatever, what's the word? This isn't for shock value. I'm just saying, like, there's people that prefer that for whatever reason, but I can sort of kind of tell that a lot of the folks that are there now are in like a bad situation, a bad part of their life, I guess, and they're just making making the most out of it and pressing on. So like, good luck to all of them, and I hate to see that so many people in that situation. I hope that I'm not silly. I don't think that the year changing alone is going to, just suddenly signal a change in everything. Like COVID's going to go away, and people will all get jobs again. But certainly I hope for as close to that as possible for 2021. Hope that'll be a lot better. In the meantime, to everybody that's out there struggling, just keep on pressing on, and whatever the situation is now, it's not really so if you're in a bad situation right now, it's not indicative of the type of person that you are. Now it may not even be indicative of the types of choices that you've made. It may just be that life is kind of rough right now, because it is kind of rough right now. And just know that bad situations do not last forever, and so just keep that in mind. Keep pressing forward and do the best that you can. That's all I know to say on that. And so hang in there. That is kind of depressing, but it is what it is. But so I see a lot of posts on Reddit that are asking about travel to Hawaii, and I always kind of like let people know, like not in a crappy way, but just maybe like right now may not be the best time to come for a visit, because it is still kind of raw. It's not horrible to visit now by any means, but there's still, you can do plenty outside, but still things aren't the same as they were a year ago. And so for tourism and kind of, like good vibes, not so much right now. It's not like the dreamscape, vacation land that people remember or think about. It's real. A lot of people are, worse off than they were a year ago. So definitely come if you want to kind of like rough it and do a lot of things outdoors and away from other people. If that's your thing, then definitely you would love it right now. But if you want to, get a rental car and then go do a bunch of like local favorites, do a lot of activities around other people, go to the beach a bunch, maybe not a great idea. At one point in time, I don't know if this is still the way things are, but at one point in time, like to rent a car, I think you had to quarantine. You had to complete the quarantine, or I think you had to come in with your 72-hour prior COVID test and then take another COVID test at the airport here. Now I'm just getting into things I don't really know what I'm talking about. But yeah, there was some kind of thing where, if you were not able to get your electronic results for like the Hawaii portion of the COVID testing, like the one you get on arrival, like you couldn't rent a car that day. And so that would just be horrible if you're vacationing here and then you had to get Uber for the whole time that you were here. Terrible for a couple reasons. The first, because it would be very cost prohibitive versus, just renting a car. But then secondly, there's not that many people that are driving Uber here, or at least there aren't last time I checked. And I don't know the reason for everybody, but I would assume it's because there's really not that much money in it right now. There's not that much patronage. So, yeah. Anyways, I don't know why I got off on that tangent. Just, come here if you want to, or, wait if you want to. I think if it were up to me, like just knowing what I know now, I would wait until later, at least, June or July of next year, and see how it's going. But yeah. Just ignore me. I don't know what I'm talking about. But yeah, so the run yesterday and then the run today. I'm trying to think anything cool today. I saw a boar. It was I just saw like kind of the tail end. It kind of slipped off into a Hawaiian burial grounds that's on the side of the beach road. So I didn't want to really see it up close, but I didn't get to see it up close. It kind of snuck off before I could get up to where it was. And yeah, I think other than that, I was running in the dark and I was running in the rain, so that was kind of cool, I guess. Just switch it up for a change. I've been running in the hot heat because it's not been raining that much, so it was a good little change. But anyways, yeah, so the reason that I mentioned Reddit and I got sidetracked on social media was because one of the good things that came out of Reddit is that it's an easy place for people to post questions or have dialogue. And so I was reading on the post that I made, and one person, I won't say several people, I'll say one person left comments and kind of didn't really pose the question, but kind of mentioned about running in the humidity and maybe not being as acclimatized as they would like to be. And what I got from that was, hey, how about share some tips for running in the heat and humidity. And so I've been doing a little thinking and trying not to hurt myself. Some things that you can do to kind of survive the heat and humidity in Hawaii. If you are a pretty frequent runner, or if you're an ultra runner, you probably are used to heat and you probably just deal with it and kind of know sort of instinctively how to manage it and push through it. But this is kind of for those people that don't have a lot of experience with it. And sometimes I take it for granted that everybody hasn't had a lot of exposure to running long distances or running in sort of adverse conditions. And so sometimes even the simple things, like right now I'm wearing a pair of shorts that I got when I first started back running. And these are just a pair of shorts that I bought from some sports store chain. And I'm not saying the name because I actually don't remember what it's called, but it's just like their house brand of shorts. And so I bought these shorts and I bought a singlet because back in that time I was wearing a shirt when I ran because I was living in the civilized mainland and just didn't feel comfortable running with no shirt on. But here it's way more tolerated. Like I see people going into the store with no shirt on and like driving around no shirt on. Everybody's going to the beach all the time. So anyways, I digress. the point being, like, these shorts, I now don't wear them running because I learned that they're horrible for running. They chafe me horribly when I run, and they're cut. Usually I like to wear like a 5-inch inseam. I know that seems pretty short, but that's one of the ways of dealing with the heat and humidity. I'll get into that in a minute, but yeah, these shorts are a little longer than that. They have pockets, which I mean, like, not the kind that are up along the waistband, but the kind that are like actual pockets. Like, you can put your whole hand in these pockets, and so stuff can easily fall out of these pockets. They're more like a casual short made out of an athletic sort of material. But I got them when I just didn't really know a lot about what to get or whatever. And so I saw a lady yesterday running along Beach Road, and it was hot out. I mean, it wasn't super hot, but it was still hot. It was the evening. So this wouldn't have been yesterday. This was maybe the day before. Am I getting my days mixed up? Yeah, I think this was the day before. I ended up behind this lady that was running in the heat with like long, they were athletic tights, but they were long tights. And so I don't wear tights. Maybe they are cool depending on the fabric. I'm sure that there's some nice ones out there, like Lululemon or something else that have like advanced fabrics that like wick moisture and keep you cool and all. But to me, it just seemed counterintuitive. And I could be wrong. I could be mistaken. But to me, in general, when I'm running in the heat, I like to have a short, not pants, shorts with 5-inch inseam and no more. I have run with less than that. I don't prefer less than that. 5-inch seems to be pretty good. It's enough to keep cool, and it also, even if it gets bogged out with sweat, it's not going to weigh as much as shorts that are like a 7-inch inseam or whatever. It's not gonna, they don't kind of like, not tangle, but stick to your leg as much. And so that's one of the ways that I deal with the heat, is wear shorts with a 5-inch inseam. Other ways that I deal with it, I don't wear a shirt hardly ever when I'm running, unless I'm going to be wearing a pack and going long distance in the sun. Like long distance, not 6 miles, but like if I'm going to take a whole day or a half a day and I'm just going to, hoof it somewhere, I will wear a shirt just because it'll protect the shoulders from the sun. And so some places you'll go, like especially in Kona and in Volcanoes National Park, in the desert area, you can burn in so short of a time, like 30 minutes. You can be super burned. An hour, you can have second degree burns if you're not careful. And so I usually will just wear, a short sleeve shirt. The ones that I've got a couple of them, like 4 of them, and I got them from Hawaii Running Lab. they're just New Balance, some kind of breathable wicking, like polyester sort of material. But they're pretty soft and not chafing. Well, as not chafing as they possibly can be. They're totally white, and so like the color of them is white, and they've got the big orange logo on the front and the back. But I've worn them so many times, and they've gotten so dirty. There's just no way to clean them, and that kind of like adds to the character, I guess. I like to wear those if I'm going for a long distance, but just regular day to day, I don't even wear a shirt because it's just more to wash, frankly. And plus it's hot. You're holding in all your heat, plus you are getting heavier. Like you're just holding the sweat in the shirt, and that's no fun. If you are not a guy and you can't go shirtless, I don't know what to tell you, really. I guess like wear something like a sports bra. I don't know if you can do that, if you feel comfortable with that. That's what I would do. I guess if they told me that I had to wear something, then that's what I would do. I have gone for long runs. If I know I'm going to be like in a covered area, like a forest or a little piece of jungle, and I'll have plenty of shade, I will just wear my vest, my hydration vest with no shirt. I don't know. This seems like I've been talking about no shirt for a long time, but I mean, I think everybody gets the point with that. So shortish shorts. You don't have to wear like too short. If you've got my body type, which is, weird, the shorts maybe don't look that great either. For everybody else, if you're going to be out in the middle of the woods or somewhere away from other people, and you've got a weird body like me, then I guess go for it. But maybe for the health and safety of everybody else, 5-inch inseam, that's the move. Yeah, and as shirtless as possible. I'll tell you, like, fabrics to avoid. Number one, cotton. Cotton just holds moisture, and it's going to get heavy, and you're going to want to take it off anyway. So cotton for athletic stuff, that's no good. You want something that's going to wick moisture and be breathable, especially if you're in Hawaii. Like, I'm just saying, like, if you want to wear a shirt, or if you have to wear a shirt, definitely get some kind of synthetic that's breathable and wicks moisture and dries quickly. Yeah, so there's that. Let's talk about the elephant in the room, chafing. One of the things that I will do if I know that I've got a piece of clothing that's burned me in the past, I will bring bag balm. Sorry, I'm getting distracted. My dog is like licking the crap out of his paw. I don't understand why. There's nothing wrong with his paw. He's fixated on licking it, and he licks like so loud. It's so irritating. Now he's sleeping, so I can calm down. I forgot what I was using. Oh yeah. So bag balm, I just take it with me. They sell it in tubes. You can get it at CVS or Long's Drugs or whatever. Pretty much any drugstore will have it, but bag balm. And they do sell it in tubes. If you can't find the tubes, then what you can do is usually the drugstore will also sell like a soft travel container for like shampoo or whatever, body wash or whatever. I will just take the bag balm from the tin container and just kind of spoon it into one of those soft travel containers and just carry that with me. It's a little less messy that way. If you're really smart, you'll carry some gloves, some nitrile or latex gloves with you, and use those to apply the bag balm. But you don't have to do that. Plenty of times I just put it on with my bare hands before I go. But the places that you want to put it, sorry, I have to be specific. You're gonna, if you're a guy, you're definitely gonna put it on your junk because sometimes that rubs against the front part of your shorts, and if that ever happens to you and you get chafed on that part, it is incredibly painful and such a surprise when the water hits it after your activity. Like, you'll feel maybe a little pain, and then you'll kind of forget about it, and then you'll get into the shower, and as soon as that water hits it, oh my gosh. So you want to put stuff there, and then I would say like the inner thighs, like wherever stuff might rub together, just put it in there. Don't be shy. Plenty of times I've just done this in public. Of course I have my shorts on, and I'm not like, yeah, I'm being as respectful as possible, but you gotta do what you gotta do, right? If you're gonna wear a shirt, I would suggest putting some, like, anywhere there's gonna be pressure or something moving up and down on a body part. So definitely on your nipples, definitely on your shoulders. Like if you're gonna be carrying a pack, you'll want to put some on there too, just to keep everything sort of I guess like lubricated, so that it reduce friction. A little trick that I have done too, like on my pack, especially if I'm gonna wear the hydration vest and I'm not gonna wear a shirt. So I've got a Solomon vest, and so it's webbed on the side that touches your skin. And so what I'll do is I'll just take like bag balm and I'll put it on the vest itself, so that the bag balm gets in like the little grooves in the webbing, and there'll always be plenty, so it won't rub off, like the vest won't rub it off of my skin. I don't know, there's something going on outside. It's another Saturday night in Paradise Park. There's like people yelling, there's a car honking its horn, craziness. Yeah, so that's another thing. Hydration for the heat and humidity. What I drink, and I've said this before, I don't take straight water with me on runs, and usually I will drink 100% scratch, like the whole time that I'm out doing an activity. Like I've got scratch in my my water reservoirs, and then I'll even have some before and after. I've got Nalgene bottles. I forget how many ounces those are. Let me look, because I don't want to say the number that I'm thinking and then it turns out that I really can't do liquid measurement. Nalgene. It's not even really that important, but Yeah, 32 ounce. I was going to say 36 ounce, but I've got a couple of the 32 ounce bottles, and so I'll drink like half of one of those before an activity, and then I'll drink the other half during the activity. Like I'll pour it out into my soft flask and just take it with me. Like if I'm doing, my regular six miles that I do every day, or mostly every day. I have not done what I was supposed to do like the last month. But yeah, so half before, half during, and then even after I'll drink a little more if I need to. I do that'll be another tip. I'll give that in a second. But yeah, so scratch, just simply because if you're in an environment that is high humidity, high heat, high humidity and high heat, so you're going to lose fluid volume because of the heat. You're also going to lose your salt and sodium, and you're going to lose not double, but you're going to lose more sweat because of the humidity, because there's already moisture in the air and it's already hot. So your body has to actually produce even more sweat in order to cool down. In order to cool down. So you're actually losing more than you regularly would if it were a dry heat. And so with that, you're losing more sodium and potassium, and what else? Magnesium. Now I'm just making stuff up. But yeah, so all those vital minerals, vital substances, the electrolytes that you need, you're losing them, so you need to replace them. So that's why I do exclusively scratch. Now I did an experiment when I was running the volcano, or the Hilo volcano 2017, 2018, I think it was 2018. On that one I would do scratch for like 5 miles, and then the next 5 miles I would do Gatorade. I know, right? And so what I found was like I felt better with the scratch than I did with the Gatorade. With the Gatorade, because of the composition. I won't say that it has more sugar or less sugar, because I actually don't know. But I know scratch does have sugar in it. I know that Gatorade a lot of it is sugar. I think that it causes a crash more than the scratch does. And I believe maybe it's the types of sugar that are in the Gatorade versus the types of sugar that are in the scratch. I think, if I'm not mistaken, scratch uses like sugars from fruits, like natural sugars, and Gatorade uses good old like table sugar, fructose. Let's just look it up. Gatorade ingredients. There are sugar-free versions of Gatorade too, if you want to do that. But so what I noticed, and I was drinking the kind that's just a plain old, Gatorade with sugar. So what I found was I would definitely crash. I felt heavier, like my legs felt heavier when I was having the Gatorade. When I had the scratch, it seemed like I would bog down for a minute, but then all of a sudden I would just feel great and pick back up, and then I would be able to carry that pace for the rest of the 5 miles. And so I definitely think that Scratch, I prefer it over Gatorade. Now there may be other stuff out there that's actually better than Scratch, and so it may be that for you Gatorade is better, but I will say it's a must to replace electrolytes if you're going to be in a humid, hot environment. And so, yeah, that's all I'll say about that. And I tried to look up the sugar in Gatorade, but again, that's going to take me down a rabbit hole to like actually get to the information that I want, because everything's so marketed now. I just want to know how much sugar is in Gatorade. I don't get that. I get results for the new versions of Gatorade with less sugar. You know, I get everything but what I'm looking for. A bunch of articles on, is Gatorade good for you? Images of Gatorade sugar. Let's look at this image. Maybe that will help. Okay, so sugar content in a 32 ounce. Is that right? If this infographic is correct, 32 ounce bottle of Gatorade has 13.3 teaspoons of sugar. And so you will actually crash if you have too much sugar. So you'll feel fine for a little while, and then once that sugar is burned up, you'll just absolutely hit the wall. But yeah, let me look up Scratch sugar. Or actually, you know what? I'm going to look up type of sugar in Gatorade. Gatorade. All right. So the main ingredients in Powerade and Gatorade are water, a type of sugar, citric acid, and salt. Powerade is sweetened with high fructose corn syrup, while Gatorade contains dextrose. This dextrose is chemically identical to regular sugar. And then I had to open the article. So Gatorade has 34 grams of sugar in a 20 ounce, and then Powerade has 34 grams of sugar as well. So dextrose or corn syrup. Yum. Let's see type of sugar in Scratch. Scratch doesn't come up because it's an odd spelling. Maybe I just need to search for Scratch. We'll get to the bottom of this. You know, I've actually got a bag of it in the kitchen, but I'm too lazy. Let's learn about Scratch. Yeah, they actually try to lower the sugar and add extra salt and electrolytes. Blah 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 blah. So you can read about Scratch on their website at scratchlabs.com, but that's pretty much what I drink exclusively when I'm doing activities. I hope that was helpful. So another thing that I do, this is not really going to help you during your runs, but man, it's awesome afterwards. I carry around, and you may not be able to do this, I drive a pickup, and I'm usually the only one that's in it everywhere I go. I will just keep those gallon water jugs that they sell at the convenience store. I just keep them, and then I'll refill them at the transfer station. I just keep them in my truck, and so I've got enough to last me, one a day throughout the week. And so what I will do is after I'm done running, I've got enough water in those jugs, in one of those jugs to actually like rehydrate, and then also just like dump most of it on my head and kind of like clean off. It's amazing how much better you'll feel having rinsed off than you would driving home or whatever with covered in all of your own sweat. And so that's another pro tip. You can waste your money, I guess, on those fancy showers that they sell. I've seen them at Costco and then all over the internet. And full disclosure, I actually like them and I think they're cool, but they're so expensive for what they are. And I've read some bad reviews online where like the bladders broke and pieces broke. I mean, who knows if that's true? I don't actually own one. I'm not trying to tell you don't get one. I'll probably get one eventually, but those jugs work great, and if they break, I'll just get another one. They're cheap, so I keep a couple of those in my truck always, and just rinse off. And I always carry extra water anyway, especially here, because you just never know where you're going to be when you get a flat tire, or you can never have too much water anyway. Sometimes it gets so hot. All right, so time of day is important too. I would say if you're not fully acclimatized, then you don't really need to be out between the hours of 11 a.m. and 2 p.m. Those are kind of like the hottest hours of the day. And that doesn't mean that everything after 2 p.m. is really cool and everything before 11 a.m. is really cool. It just, all I'm saying is like the sun's at its peak from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. most days. That's when it's going to be the hottest. And so you may just want to avoid that. Another tactic, I kind of hinted at it earlier. I like to pick routes where at least part of it is shielded from the sun by overgrowth, trees or whatever, a jungle, forest. I like to pick routes that have that cover, so that the sun's not as much of a factor. And I do like to occasionally get out to the desert trails in the national parks, or even out, Mauna Kea, Mauna Loa, off of Saddle Road. I like to do those too. But if it's going to be super hot, sometimes it's good to just get a place that's covered for at least some of the time. I think that's, and always carry plenty of water. So you will learn over time what you're going to need to carry with you for a certain distance, and you're going to learn over time too how much you need to drink, how often. That's something that some people struggle with, like in the very beginning, is just like, am I drinking enough? Am I drinking too? Am I drinking enough or not? Kind of thing. How much do I need to bring with me? It's never a good thing to bring extra weight. So, it's never too good to bring extra weight that you wouldn't possibly use, right? So you always want to carry a little bit more than you actually need, just in case of emergency. And so I would say for an adult male, I'm 5'9" and about 200 pounds. So usually if I'm going to run 8 to 15 miles, I will take a hydration vest with 2 half liters on the front and then 2 liter reservoir in the back. And so that will usually get me through 8 to 15 miles. And so if that helps you, so 3 liters total for 8 to 15 miles. And so I probably wouldn't need that much for the 8, but for 15 definitely would probably drink every single bit of those 3 liters. And then let's see what else. I think that's the bulk of the tips that I have. It's basically just wear less, drink more, drink more scratch, basically. Wear less, drink more scratch, and run in areas that have shade in the evening or the morning, and always carry extra water and rinse off when you're done and rehydrate when you're done. That's the other thing too. Like if you hydrate adequately, or you need to hydrate adequately at the times when you're not running too, just to keep everything balanced out. And so by adequately, I mean not too much, just enough to keep the electrolytes in your body, like keep your levels normal. So the next activity you're starting on a good level. And so yeah, I think that's all the advice I have for right now. I'm sure I'll think of more once I stop recording. Sorry, that wasn't the most elegant delivery of advice you probably ever heard, but it's if you listen to this podcast with any frequency, you know that's kind of what I do. I get on here and half the time I'm just rambling, and then when I'm giving information, usually it's kind of long and drawn out. That's just the way I am. So I'm sorry. Thank you for listening. I'm trying to think what else. That was the only question that I sort of kind of got from Reddit, but I was happy to get it, and it really made me hopeful that in the future, like stuff that I post up, that I'll get some back and forth, because I would love to help with any information that I can give. So I was just thinking of something else too. This is not related to the humidity thing, but when my truck got broken into, they took my I had a Cabela's bag that my dad gave me. It was just one of those free gift kind of things that they gave away as a promotional item, but it was a pretty nice bag, pretty sizable, or a pretty good size. And I had taken it and just made it into kind of like my go bag for running or whatever. I just kept it in my truck all the time, and it had a lot of first aid stuff in there, like bag balm, hydrogen peroxide, betadine, bandages. I'm trying to think, ace bandages, and then 2x4s, band-aids, whatever, ointment, blah blah blah, on and on. But it was a lot of stuff. I mean, I would say it was easily $100 or $200 worth of first aid stuff. And so they took that. I have a feeling they didn't really want that or need it. They probably took the bag because they thought that it had like valuables inside of it. And I'm talking like maybe hunting stuff, or bullets or whatever. I don't know. But But yeah, so they took that, and then I was looking online. I was looking at REI to see if they had any kind of first aid kits that would be a good replacement for that bag. And I didn't search for a long time, but I didn't see anything really that stuck out to me that was in a price point that I could manage right now. It looked like there was some new stuff out where they had like hemostatic bandages and like tourniquets in the kits and other stuff. Some had like neat designs where they had everything partitioned out, and so you would just have like a breakout bag for burns, and then they had other conditions or whatever, and you would just have a breakout bag with all the stuff, I guess, that you need for those emergencies inside those bags. And so I guess a lot of the time those first aid kits can be a little bit can be gimmicky. It's good to have one, but you want to know like everything that's inside of it. That's one of the biggest things with first aid is like if you've got a huge kit but then you don't know half the stuff that's inside of it and you don't know how to use half of it or any of it, then it's not going to do you any good in the actual emergency. And so like a $300 first aid kit that's only got a bunch of bandages in it, like 2x4s and band-aids, that's not going to do much. Like if you roll your ankle or you break a leg or something, you may want to have other stuff in there besides that. And now, of course, I can't remember the names of of anything. Not ace bandages, but what's the other thing that molds to fit the contours of your affected limb, and then you can actually use a ace bandage to immobilize the body part. I'll think of it in a minute. Yeah, of course, I don't remember. But the point is, like all the good stuff that you have inside your first aid kit, you want to make sure that you would actually use all of it, or that you could actually use all of it. That's not just fluff. And then also that you know how to use it in an emergency. So that's going to be one of my projects, is sort of like rebuilding my go bag, because there was other stuff besides first aid inside of it too. I had just other stuff that I collected and put in there, like coffee, what do you call it, not instant coffee, but kind of like the coffee that comes in the little pouch. You tear it open and then you put it's like a drip coffee, but it's made out of like paper, and it's got the little bag of coffee, and then you put it over a mug, and then you pour hot water in it. It's like a drip coffee. Just stuff like, you can make fun of me, it's okay. I would just collect things that I thought maybe I might need, in case of emergency. Mylar blankets. Like I had a bunch of Mylar blankets. I don't think you can have enough Mylar blankets, because Mylar could be an occlusive bandage. You could probably use it for tension pneumothorax. It's good to keep, if you're having hypothermia, if you forgot to bring a jacket. I've actually gone on hikes with a Mylar blanket because I forgot to bring sufficient clothing for the weather conditions. You can put it on your seat after you're done running if you forgot your seat cover or whatever, and it keeps your seat from getting all nasty. There's a bunch of uses for Mylar blankets. You can never have enough. Using it for a bed, like especially during ultras, you can actually put it on the ground, and then but you can put it on the ground and lay on inside of it and kind of just take like a 7-minute nap. Be good as new. You don't want to do that too much though, but yeah, you can if you've got a Mylar blanket. And so right now I don't think I have any. I think they stole all of them, bastards. But yeah, so I've got to rebuild my first aid kit, and that's something that all of you out there that are going to run trails, you should have a first aid kit in your vehicle. Because if you've got that, then you kind of have closed the distance on those supplies if you get into a situation where you need them. So you may only need to get back to your vehicle versus like trying to get all the way to the nearest medical treatment facility or whatever. So, and then you can carry little Ziploc baggies with, maybe like some gloves, some bandages, whatever, some what's that stuff called? They sell like little unit dose of the anti-chafing stuff. I forgot what it's called. You can keep those in there, just whatever, like some pieces of candy, like in case you get low blood sugar or something. I don't know. You can carry those little Ziploc bags like inside of your hydration pack as well, so you have like a little bit more right there with you. Like I would always like to carry an ace bandage, not because I think that I'm going to need to suddenly put an ace bandage on my my swollen limb or achy limb or whatever, but you could use the ace bandage to help immobilize a limb if you didn't have the thing that I can't remember what the name of it is. I'm actually gonna have to look that up because it's bothering me. First aid limb immobilization. I'm gonna feel so dumb when I read this too. It's so common. I used to have to check off Sam Splint. There it is. I used to have to check off the ambulance every day, and we had Sam Splint as one of the check off items. Yeah, so carrying a Sam Splint actually probably wouldn't be a bad idea, even on your person, if you can find one that is kind of it won't take up too much real estate. It could come in handy, but you can do pretty good with some sticks or walking sticks with ace bandage. You could probably do pretty good with those. But anyways, so like a little breakout kit like inside your hydration pack, but then also a bigger one back at your vehicle. And so in that too, you can have ibuprofen, or you can have some tweezers, just whatever, toenail clippers, extra pair of socks, whatever you need, just like a little go bag. Yeah, I don't know, how did I get started talking about first aid kits and go bags? I guess because I was looking for one, but it wouldn't be a bad idea to have one if you did have some kind of heat related emergency or whatever, to have something in there to help you treat that. You can read about how to treat those things like in a wilderness medicine book, wilderness first aid book, or something like that. I can tell you that basic things that you could do is get into the shade. You want to apply cold compresses to like the groin, underarms, and the back of the neck. Yeah, fluids. If you're not able to drink fluids and you're throwing up, then you need to get to the hospital. And so, there you go. The best thing that you can carry, especially if you're going to be running alone, is your cell phone, right? So a lot of places on Big Island, the cell phone will do you no good. But you may still be able to send a text message to 911. Hawaii is one of the states that participates in that program. So you can send a text message, and I believe, you may want to look this up before you head out, but I believe that they can, just off your text message, triangulate your approximate position. And so that's good to know before you head out. But yeah, if I'm going to be by myself and I'm going to like YPO, or even when I used to go up to the watershed management area, I would take my phone with me, not for entertainment or pictures, but just to have something in case things went south. Because, you never know. Like, you could get charged by a bore, or you could slip and fall. I was watching a show the other day, and it was pretty graphic. Like, it didn't pixelate out any of the quote unquote good stuff. Like, a guy fell on his bike, and I guess like the handlebar went into his pelvis, and so it severed, or partially severed, an artery, and he was bleeding like you wouldn't believe. Like, he lost almost 20% of his blood in less than like 5 minutes. So the way that he actually stopped the bleeding was just by digging his fingers into the wound, finding the artery, and pushing down as hard as he could against his femur. It may have been his femoral artery, but it was up higher than that, so I don't know for sure. But yeah, you never know when like some crazy stuff like that will happen. So it would be great to be able to at least try to call 911 and get a helicopter to your position, versus just laying there and watching your life pass before your eyes. But I guess in some cases that would be your only option. But yeah, anyways, I don't know why I always have to leave stuff on a negative spin. But anyways, carry your first aid kit too. So tonight we talked about the runs this week. Nothing too crazy. We again, shout out to the two ladies at Bayfront. Bless you. I hope you're doing great. Yeah, I didn't have the money either, and I guess I didn't want any trouble. But nothing against y'all. I hope you're doing well. Yeah, so we talked about humidity. Sorry, I'm getting sleepy. So it's 9:41. I'm an old man, and I'm just getting sleepy. So I'm becoming incoherent. So I think I'm going to cut it off right here, and then I'll come back another day to fill everybody in on the truck repair saga, and maybe even reveal the name of the body shop. Ooh, cliffhanger. But yeah, hopefully that all turns out great, and it will be a non-issue. And then I just will never say their name, because I don't want to be sued for libel. Yeah. I'm gonna stop now because I'm getting old person incoherent. So enjoy the rest of your weekend, and I'll be back soon. If you do have any questions or things you would like me to talk about, or if you want to be on the podcast with me to talk about anything, it doesn't have to necessarily be about running. Just let me know at runninthought.com, or if you don't want to do it there, then you can go to my other personal site, thedynamicclient.com, and my contact information is there. You can call me. It's okay. You might go to the spam filter, but just leave a message and I'll get back to you. Or you can email me or whatever. But yeah, just give me your questions and then I'll try to answer to the best of my ability, which may just be stuff that you already know. But whatever. All right. Well, thanks for listening again, and everybody take care out there. Bye.